Little Miss is 8 months old. Good morning, guys. Little Miss is trying to lick her peanut butter Kong from yesterday. There's nothing left, honey. Nothing left. But can you believe the Little Miss is 8 months old? Look at this face. Oh my goodness, you're such a big girl. You're so big now. We're back with the Q&A version of these pupdate videos. I completely forgot last month, and so we just did like a regular vlog, but I'm happy to say that I remembered, and we're back with the Q&A. And I want to answer the first question because it was like prime that she was trying to show y'all this morning. But I got asked, in my opinion, what are her current flaws? And I'm hoping that you guys could actually hear it in the video. I'm not really sure. But recently, Freya has started whining in the mornings inside her crate after our alarm goes off because she's picked up the routine that when our alarms go off, we come out and get her, which is usually the case. But if I choose to like snooze it or something, she's like, where you at? Like, come get me. And she'll start whining. And she'll do that for like 10 or 15 minutes or whatever until we come get her. But it's just like this whole waiting game because I don't want to reinforce that behavior. So we wait until she's done whining to come and get her, which makes us kind of like sleep in more because we have to like stay in bed, because if she hears us move, like get out of bed, then she'll stop whining because she's like, they're coming, and she'll stop. I just have to sit in bed until she stops whining and then I can go get her. So that's super fun, huh? Don't know why she's been doing that. We're gonna have to figure something out because it's quite annoying. And I wouldn't necessarily call it a flaw, but it's just interesting because you guys don't really get to see her like bad behaviors often. Where are you going? So I wanted to point that one out. Another flaw or bad habit that she's been doing recently is trying to steal our food off of our plates and everything because we still don't have a dining room table, so we've been eating at the coffee table. You guys know that if you've been around. And she like lingers near the coffee table, and if you just like turn away for 1 second, she's snatching stuff. She snatched a biscuit off my plate the other week. She snatched some of my sausage off my plate one time just walking by. She's like a little hungry hippo. So we've also been working on that. But those are like the two things that come to mind of like her bad behaviors or bad habits that she's been doing recently. What do you have to say for yourself? No comment? I always get asked what food Freya eats currently, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to answer this again because we've switched her food quite a few times, honestly, and we have switched her food again, but this time it was because of an allergy, actually. So Freya currently eats Signature's branded food. We got the limited ingredient salmon flavor food, and she's been on that for about a month, so we kind of started switching her over right after her 7-month pup date because I started noticing that she would like chew on her paws and she was getting kind of like scabs around herself, and her eyes would be kind of red sometimes. And chicken is the #1 like allergen for dogs, and all of her foods, no matter how many times we switch them, have always been chicken flavored. So I'm like, let's try it, let's switch her food. And normally you don't see a lot of results until like honestly 12 weeks or so of switching food with allergies and stuff like that, but I'm already starting to notice stuff. Like she isn't nearly as itchy. She's always also been itchy since like a puppy, and we just thought, you know, I don't know, itchy, but she hasn't been itchy. She hasn't been chewing her paws. The scabs are going away. Oh, and TMI, literally since a puppy, she's always just had like not normal poops. Like they're just always soft. It started after she got worms, and then she was on some fiber and she really never came off of it. And I don't know, we just didn't put 2 and 2 together until finally I'm like, I think she's allergic to freaking chickens. So we switched it over and everything has changed. Like her poops are normal, she's not as itchy, she doesn't chew her paws, eyes aren't as red, like everything is helping so much. So I'm super happy about that. I feel dumb that I didn't notice it before. She still gets a cup of food in the morning and a cup at night. So I have put her cup in my tree pouch because we're about to go on our little morning walk as usual. normal. But the second part to that question was asking if we've ever thought about doing like raw food, and I definitely have. Even before getting Freya, we talked about like doing raw because a lot of dogs do better on raw. But to be completely honest, raw feeding is really freaking expensive. Since her early pup date videos, we were trying to like implement some raw into her diet because I do think that they benefit a lot from that. I just can't afford to feed her full raw. So we used to give her chicken paws. So now we're trying to figure out what else we could implement that's not chicken because allergies. Touch. One question that I always get whenever I film us like walking or anything like that, or post stuff on our stories or whatever, is how I got Freya to heel or to like walk nicely beside me. This person specifically said we need a video on it, and I wanted to bring this up because I am actually going to start filming like training related videos, and hopefully there'll be like a new episode on this, like what I'm calling a mini series every week. The first episode came out last week and it's all about crate training and stuff, so there will be a whole video about how I do that, but let me throw some tips in here for you guys. Number one, Freya is not perfect. She does pull on the leash. She will go away from me, but once we reach this tight part, I'm trying to get her to notice on her own that she needs to come closer. I don't require her to walk next to me all the freaking time. Oh, you're walking in mud. Get out of the mud. If you're starting from the absolute beginning, I will cover like heel from beginning to end in the video, but just little things that we do on our walks in general, even if we're not heeling, is either ignoring or redirecting bad behaviors that I don't want and reinforcing the behaviors that I do want. So I don't want her in there. Good girl. And once she comes out and listens and she's right next to me, she gets treats. And basically she only gets treats when she's walking next to me. And I'll use noises to get her attention, not really her name, because I don't want her to associate her name with walking next to me, but I can just keep jackpotting these treats whenever she's walking next to me so that she knows that she only gets them when she's next to me, and she'll start to go explore, but then, oh, she'll come back because she's like, ooh, I want a treat. And you just start associating walking close to mom is getting good treats, and they won't really want to walk away. You can also teach them to kind of come back by playing a game with the treats. Can you sit? Good girl. So what I'm gonna do is give her some leash here, and I'm gonna take a treat, and I'm just gonna throw it away from me. She's gonna go get it, and whenever she comes back, yes, good girl. And we're gonna kind of walk this way, throw a treat. Yes. Good girl. We're not really reinforcing the running away part. It's just that she is running away to go get a treat. We're reinforcing yes when she comes back to me. Yes. And you can just practice this like I am on this road. You just walk back and forth, walk in some circles. Right now she's sniffing on her own. Yes. And she'll start to learn that coming back and coming to mom gets her treats. Of course, Freya and I have had lots of practice at this because we've been working at this since day one. But again, she's not perfect. She does pull. She's still a puppy. She gets excited about new things and new smells, and she'll pull towards them. But I try to correct that, try to give her like cues or words that mean like, hey, don't really like that, come back. And when she does, we praise it. There's a fun thing happening right now, which didn't plan on it, but there's people loading a trash can over there, and every time they make noise, she kind of freaks out a little bit. So I wanted to show you, hopefully she'll do it on camera, because she is of course in her fear stage, and I of course get questions about how we deal with her fear and everything. So usually with fear related things, or I can tell that she's getting antsy and she wants to leave, I don't allow it. I only give her what she wants when she's giving me the behaviors that I want, which is calm and collected behavior. So if she's like scurrying around and running around in circles, or like, you know, whining and wanting to run away, we don't do that. I don't reinforce the being scared gets her what she wants and she doesn't have to be there anymore. I will give her what she wants whenever she's seated and she's calm like she is right now, and she's just waiting in front of me because she is kind of uncomfortable right now, and I don't want to put her through uncomfortable stuff, but with all the noise going on, I just kind of feed her treats. Can you sit? So she knows that these loud noises that might scare her are actually okay, and whenever they happen, she gets treats. But she has been doing this with so many things during her fear stage. So weird people like walking by when we're in the drive-thrus, like people rolling trash cans around. There's been like paper bags floating through the neighborhoods and she freaks out about it. Or there was like a hubcap in the sidewalk one day, freaked out about it, didn't want to go near it. So those are some of the things. I also got asked like, what do we socialize her with this month, or kind of things. Whenever she shows fear about that, I don't want to take her away from it. I want her to get used to it and to be around it so that she's not scared of it anymore. So we kind of hang out by the thing that's scaring her. Not too close, like we get closer as she is comfortable. I'm not gonna like run her up to the thing that's absolutely terrifying her. We start at a distance, let her like check it out, smell around, give her treats because she's being good and showing me some good behaviors that I like, being calm and everything. And then we just slowly get closer until she's right up on it, and I let her check it out, let her smell it, because her fear is just fear of the unknown. She doesn't know what it is, and it freaks her out. It makes her uncomfortable. So we want to get her familiar with that thing, and it will no longer make her uncomfortable. So we've been doing that with a bunch of things this past month, because her fear is like really annoying and not like out of control because it's normal, but like random things are scaring her. And I'm like, girl, that's a bag. That is a Target bag. But she doesn't know that. So I let her take her time getting close to that thing and then reinforce it. I put treats on the hubcap or under the hubcap whenever we ran into one on the sidewalk, so that she would have to actually touch it and eat good things off of it and put her nose underneath it and make it move and make it make noise, which did kind of scare her at first, but then she was like, oh, there's treats under here, and she was fine, and we walked right by it. So it's just building a positive association with all the new things that she is scared of, and that's kind of how we're handling the fear part of all of this. Okay, like right now, she's uneasy about this thing. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. That's just a storm drain. Good girl. And now she's showing me a good, calm behavior. Like she's checked it out. She's sat down. She's good with it. But if I wanted to, I could also sit, stay, throw some treats around it. Break. And she can get treats around it. Also make it a good association. Like she doesn't know what this is. She's never seen a great cupboard. She doesn't know what that is. And so she was kind of uneasy. Give her some treats. She gets to check it out on her own. I'm not forcing her to do anything. She can leave at any point, but I just reinforce the good behaviors, which is calm and checking it out. Also, since our last pup date video, we've been working a lot on sitting before we cross roads. Can you sit? Good girl. Break. So that way we're trying to teach her not to cross the street without me. And she's been doing really, really good. She's a lot better at it when we cross these little footpads. Can you sit? Good girl. Break. Because they're more of like a physical like reminder, like, oh, I usually stop on these. So if there's a sidewalk that doesn't have them, she sometimes will look at me and be like, do we stop here? But whenever there's like the foot marks, she's really quick to sit, which is great. Is that a fountain? Good girl. And see, she'll just start coming to me whenever she is unsure about things, which is good. I want her to come to me and think of me as a leader. Whenever she is uncomfortable, whenever there's things that scare her, I want her to come to me and look to me for guidance and for reassurance that, you know, this environment that we're in is okay and it's totally fine.
I also got asked if we still consistently hand feed her, and I will admit, after 4 months, I would say no. After she hit 4 months, we fell off on training. We did do hand feeding, but not nearly as consistent as we were before, because we would hand feed her every single meal before she was 4 months old. Once she hit 4 months, we kind of fell off, unfortunately, but since the last pup date video, because I've realized that she's entered the regression and like that fear stage, I've brought it back, and I've been hand feeding her all of her breakfast meals, usually at night. Griffin might hand feed her and train her too, but we usually do some sort of like an enrichment kind of feeding with her dinner, so not as consistent as we used to be, and I'm actually upset about it because I think hand feeding meals to use for training is the most underrated like trick or hack for training. Come. Yes, good come. Heel. Yes, good heel. Yes, good heel. Touch. Sit. Heel. Yes, good heel. Yes, good heel. Lay down. Yes, center. Yes, good center. Lay down. Yes, good lay down. Touch. Good touch. Heel. I'm sure that y'all are like, why the heck is the baby gate back? And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what happened this past weekend on Sunday. And of course got a question about it of like, what did we do when Freya actually jumped out of her playpen here? And I'll just show you. To say that I was just like shocked and pissed is an understatement. Mainly because that same day I worked a 13-hour shift in the sun doing like physical labor all day. So that was the last thing I wanted to come home to. It was so bad. Here, I'll come over here so you can sit in my lap. She just like shoved her taco on my butt. Okay, I'm coming. That's what happened, and I put her back in the playpen so I could clean it up, and I looked over because she was whining, and she ended up jumping from the ground onto her crate, onto the couch here, and then got down on the ground, and that's how she got out. And that was her first time ever like doing that, ever escaping. She's never really shown interest in escaping. She just sits in there like she doesn't care. Are you eating fluff? You can't eat fluff. Thankfully, nothing was destroyed or even chewed or like nothing, which I'm actually like proud on that aspect because I was expecting to also see like our couch chewed up or something crazy. But she did really good on the fact of like being outside of her crate and not chewing anything. She just had explosive diarrhea in our bedroom. But as far as like what did we do with that, we honestly didn't do anything other than clean it up. We're not gonna punish her for that because I'm chalking it up to like she just really had to go. And the way that we choose to punish and train her in general is not with physical punishment and not really with punishment at all. We prefer just positive reinforcement only as far as our mode of training. She is grounded though. She is grounded from the back of the house unless it is supervised. And even that is like on a slim chance. And that's why we put the gate up because I don't want her to go back there and have accidents. And she's also just been really bad. Another one of her flaws kind of thing is she has been attached to eating Kitty's food. And so that's another reason why the gate is up too. I just used her going potty back there as an excuse because if we're not watching her 24/7, she'll sneak back there and eat all of Kitty's food. So we'll be working on that and like training, leaving Kitty's food alone. We just have the baby gate up back up and she is stuck on this side of the house until further notice. And that includes right now because now that she has been taken care of, she's had her breakfast, she's had her walk, she's gone potty, all that good fun stuff. I get to go get ready and we leave the gate closed and she stays on this side because I can't watch her while I'm getting showered. You're losing privileges because she's just picked up some bad habits that we have to work through during her fun regression stage in her teenage phase. You be good out here. You just have fun with your taco. Take a nap. That she has been really into stealing our food off of our plates because this is where we eat. So we've been trying to work on her like laying in this bed right here so she can still see us and like hang out with us, but she's not all over us or like hovering or like super baggy in a way. So that's like our newest training thing that we've been working on is just hanging out in her bed and like staying there for long periods of time doing really nothing. Good girl. And she's doing really good right now because she's already tired and she's laying in that bed. She just wanted to come over here and see what I was doing. In case you guys were curious on how everything turned out on our carpet, the carpet itself looks completely fine, like nothing happened. Happy about that, deposit wise and everything. The rug at a glance, and especially on camera, you cannot tell, but in person I can still see the outline. It's just slightly darker than what it normally is, but thank goodness this rug has no white on it. Like all of this white spot is actually yellow to begin with, so it does blend in very well. I think that if I washed it a second time it would probably turn out even better, but to the eye and to camera can't really tell. I can tell because I know. But I'm so glad that everything cleaned up very nicely. Look at you. See, that's why I gotta pick up the food. She's like, what? I'm just eating. I'm not doing nothing. Go lay down. 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 I did get asked, like, what do you do if your dog doesn't respond to the which is what we use as her correction. And Freya does really well at responding to it now because we have established that that is a correction since day one. That is what we used every time she was doing something wrong as a puppy up until now. So she has learned that means whatever I'm doing is not good and mom and dad doesn't like it. And that does take time. And there is sometimes where she doesn't listen right away, but I give her some time to think about it and listen and respond before I like react to it. But I would definitely recommend picking a word or a phrase or something for your correction marker and also your like good thing marker, because we use as a no, but then we use yes as a yes, or whatever you're doing is good. And so using those together is what teaches them what the correction word really means, because otherwise just kind of means nothing until you teach them what it means and until they actually, you know, put 2 and 2 together. So constantly as a puppy, she just rang the bells, we were saying whenever she would like bite on us or chew on us or do anything that she wasn't supposed to do. And as soon as she would do the thing that she is supposed to do, we would follow up with yes, good girl, and give her a treat and reward her. So connecting those two with means, oh, I need to stop. And then once I do stop, I get rewarded. She knows that one means not a good thing and the other means it is a good thing. You gotta go potty. Sit. Good girl, stay. Break. It is about halfway through our day already. It's around 11, which is perfect because I need to finish editing this video. Basically, I just need to do once over like a final review of it, finish the thumbnail, schedule it for Friday, and then little miss and I can go on our daily adventure or our activity of the day that we always do. So I'm gonna get that done. Little miss is gonna nap a little bit more, play on her own, whatever she would like to do, and then we will head out and go do something fun. My video is up. It's scheduled to go live on Friday, which is all about crate training. But when you're watching this video, it's already live. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can. But it is time to go on our adventure of the day, our activity of the day, which we have been doing since she was literally 8 weeks old. Every day that she's home, we go on some sort of a socialization adventure to, one, get all of her energy out and get her to play and, you know, do what dogs do. But also it can be things like getting her to socialize with new things, new surroundings. We did a lot of that kind of stuff when she was 8 weeks old and until she was about 4 months. Now it's not so much as a socialization because she's used to a lot of things, even though now the fear thing, who knows anymore. But at least every day we go on an adventure for at least an hour, if not 2, just so she can play and run around and be a dog. So we're gonna go to the dog park. There's one that's not too far away that we really, really like. It's really, really nice, but then there's also a trail nearby that we can like walk through, which is why I'm bringing her like 10-foot lead, because I don't know if there'll be dogs at the dog park. So if not, we'll probably just walk through the trails. And normally I would let her do that off leash, but again, because of this regression thing, the last time she was off leash with Griffin, she like forgot that he existed and didn't listen to any recall. So back to the basics with the long lead and recall training, and we will see if there's any doggos at the dog park. Are you still sleepy? How are you so sleepy? We're gonna go have some fun, okay? Quick. Up. Good girl. I always get asked what our favorite thing to do is together, or what my favorite thing is to do with Freya, and it basically is anything to do with being outside, and if there's other dogs involved, she loves it. Going to the dog park is a very chill activity on my end because I can just sit on a bench and watch her play and, you know, that kind of thing. But I do really, really like when we go like hiking or walking through the trails and stuff like that. One, because it's more interesting for me than to just sit at a dog park, and it's interesting for her because she gets to smell all the new smells and just go off and explore and have fun. And especially if we do that with another dog, like one of her little dog friends and everything, then she loves it. And aside from Freya, like I love to go on hikes and nature walks and stuff like that, so having her as like a companion to do that has been so fun. So that's gotta be my favorite thing to do with her. I just pulled up to the dog park and there's no doggies here. I'm sorry, Freya, but that does mean that we can just walk the trails and have fun on that side of things, which is still gonna be fun for her. She's gonna love that.
If you guys have never seen a long lead before, they're really helpful in situations like this where I want her to go and explore, but I still want to have control over her, especially because her recall has not been that great. And they're really good at like teaching your dog the appropriate distance of being away from you. So like 10 feet is a good distance. Once you've reached that 10 foot, you should kind of catch up to mom kind of thing. So she already kind of does that, but if you're practicing with the leash, it'll help. There we go, good girl. Signal to her that she's gone a little bit behind or too far ahead and she needs to come back, and she'll check in with mom for a treat, which is exactly what we want, like literally exactly. Freya, come. And we can work on recall. Good girl, sit. Yes, good come. Good come. Just in case she doesn't come, I can hold on to her, especially if there's other dogs on the trail or something like that. I don't want her running up to maybe an aggressive dog and she's not recalling, so this is good. Guys, there's literally deer in there. There's a mama deer and her babies, and thankfully Freya did not see them. I don't even think, can you sit? Good girl, stay. I don't think you guys can see them, but they're like right in there. See that little brown piece? And you don't even know. Wow, that's a pretty big stick. And honestly, like even that further proves the whole like long line, especially if they aren't good at recall. Unless they have perfect recall, you should have your dog in a long line, because if she would have seen those deer, I don't know if she would chase them. I don't know if she would just come back to me. Like, I don't really know, but also I don't want her to get hurt because it's a mama and the baby and they can get quite aggressive. So having her on this long line, I mean, Freya didn't even see them at all, but I immediately like reached down and grabbed her collar because I didn't want her to run after the deer. But if she would have, like, I would have had her on a leash, which would have been great. But in general, like recall and long lines and all that kind of stuff is literally just there to keep your dog safe. Safety is top priority. That deer just kind of stared at me though, and I was like, we're moving, we're leaving you alone, I promise. And I kept looking on the other side too, because I'm like, is dad around? I'm not trying to get hit with some antlers. Good news, we just finished the loop and I see dogs in the dog park now, so I feel like I'm also gonna take her over there, because why not? The more energy she gets to get out, the better. Let's go play. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Play frisbee? You going to play frisbee? Ready? 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 Okay. Good girl. Look at you, all clean. Oh, and seepy. Is there still dirt on your nose? I thought I got it all. Oh well. You take a nap. That is one 3-hour trip to the park and our walk later, one bath for her later, and one shower for me later, because I always get wet and muddy when we go to the dog park because she jumps all over me. And then giving her a bath, I also get wet, so I'm just like, whatever, we're gonna shower. So I'm nice and clean again for the second time today. And that loud humming noise is my microwave because I'm making food, because it's literally 4:45 now. Like, we spent 3 hours on our little trail walk and at the park, and then probably another hour to get her bathed and me bathed. So it's literally almost 5 o'clock, and that's like our whole day, and she will nap for the rest of the evening probably. But on our way back, I stopped at our mailbox because Griffin said that he got a package and wanted me to pick it up for him, so I did that. But also I got a package, and this little bag says, hello, I'm what you've been waiting for. And I'm opening it in this vlog because I know what it is, and it's dog related, and I know that you guys will love it. So I wanted to open it. I didn't know it was gonna come today. It came with a little thank you card. That's so pretty. It's like gold and turquoise. Thank you. Marissa, thank you for letting me send you these goodies. Tell Freya I said hi. And if you get a chance to check out my Insta, I will literally link this down below after I showed you guys. For all of your custom needs, I'd love to be of help. Love, Nelly. Nelly, you're freaking amazing. So Nelly DM'd me on Instagram and was basically like, I love your channel, I love your videos, and I love Freya, and I want to send you something because she has an Etsy shop and it's something to do with dogs. And I was like, oh my gosh, please. Yes, I'm dying. It's so cute. Look at this. That's literally Freya's face. Oh, this is so cute. It looks just like her. It's a t-shirt, guys. Oh, this is so adorable. And then she sent a second one in this pretty pink color. This is like perfect for fall. This is so cute. I'm obsessed. And it came with instructions on how to clean the shirts. And then I knew she was sending that, but there's actually another thing in here that I didn't know she was sending. And I'm kind of excited. Handmade with love. Oh my, look, it's a Starbucks cup and it says Dog Mom on it. And it has little paw prints and it says my name. I freaking love this. And then it came with like a turquoise straw to match my name color. Wow. Look, I'm a dog mom. This is because you're mine. Do you like it? You have a t-shirt too. That's you. This is you. This is the sweetest thing in the whole wide world. And it also came with instructions on how to care for the cup. Nelly, I'm obsessed with you and your work. You're freaking amazing. I'm going to link her Etsy shop or her Instagram, literally everything about her in the description box if you guys want to check it out, because one, I didn't know this was coming. This is my new water bottle. Literally unboxing that gave me a great idea. If you guys have an Etsy shop or something and you sell like dog related things, like plug yourself down below. Slide in my DMs or something. Like, I want to support you guys and your small businesses, and I'm obsessed with buying dog stuff. Thank you so much, Nelly. Like, that was so cute. I'm so excited about this. Oh, tell me that doesn't look like Freya. That looks just like her. I made pasta for lunch. Freya's been napping, trying to stay warm. She always curls up in like the tightest little ball after baths. More than likely, she's going to keep sleeping forever until Griffin gets home. So that is perfect for me. I'm gonna eat and get some more work done since we were gone way longer than I thought we were going to be. And I will check back in whenever Griffin gets home. Griffin just got home from work and he's taking little Miss out, but I was telling him about our day at the dog park and everything, and I was telling him the stories about this dog that kept humping all the other dogs, which made me realize that I forgot to tell you guys this story, because I did get a question if Freya has gone through heat yet and if we plan on like getting her fixed and everything, which we do plan on getting her fixed, but she has not gone through heat yet. So when we are at the dog parks and everything, I am like eyes locked just to make sure that nothing crazy happens. But there was this dog that kept like running around and humping all the other dogs, and thankfully he was fixed, so it was fine. But before I figured that out, I was like, your dog's humping my dog. But she's also not in heat, so it's like not terrible, but also I don't know, I watch that kind of stuff. Also, another question that we got, which I've been thinking about since going to the dog park, is if we've thought about getting her into like sports or like agility or anything like that. I would love to. I'd love to go through agility classes with her. I think she would be so good at it. Like, she is so smart and she's very active and she likes to do that kind of stuff. But I honestly have never looked into it, and I'm just assuming that it's really pricey. It might not be, but my assumption is that it's really expensive and we probably won't be able to. But I should look into it because I think she would thoroughly enjoy it and add some like good structure to her, and also help get some energy out, and you know, like bonding time. Like, all around it's a good time, good idea. I just need to research it more. Hello. You're up from your nap. Are you hungry for some din-dins? Because it is 8 p.m. It's time for dinner. In case you're curious of what this is, one, this is a wine cork, which I will remove, hopefully, if it's not completely frozen in here. There we go. And this is a topple, I think it's called technically, by West Paw. It's basically like a Kong, but with a big open top, and then there's like ridges on the inside. I got a question of how we basically like mentally and physically exhaust her on a daily basis. One of the main things that we do is train, because, you know, training, learning tricks, even just doing the tricks is very mentally exhausting for dogs. As far as physically exhausting her, when she goes to daycare all day, she is zonked from like 7 p.m. until the next morning. And it's really great whenever she does go to daycare, but whenever she's home,
home with us, that's where our daily like enrichment or socialization activities that we do every time she's home comes into play, where we go to the dog park for 3 hours like today, or we go on like a nature walk, we go swimming. Even just going to PetSmart will physically stimulate her, but also mentally stimulate her, because it's a new place with new sounds and new smells and new dogs to meet and new people to meet, and she just gets to kind of adventure. I want to make sure that she is mentally stimulated and physically stimulated and exhausted. Tired puppy is a good puppy, a happy puppy, all of the above. So we try to hit all of those. But another way we mentally stimulate her is with enrichment in terms of food or treats. So we have a lot of slow feeders or snuffle mats or Kongs or like treat dispensing balls that they knock around kind of thing, treat dispensing balls that they have to chew out. So we have a lot of tools like that to mentally stimulate her while she eats her meals. And she has never really eaten out of a dog bowl. Like she is either hand fed or fed through some sort of an enrichment. And I think I saw this idea on TikTok, but this girl used her topple, put her dog's food in there, put some water in it, kind of like moisten it up and soften it up, but then they also just froze it because it'll last longer. It takes them a long time to eat it, lick it out, and that is just mental stimulation for them when they have to like lick or do a food puzzle. It's exhausting to eat your food for that long. You can also do this, I saw, with like chicken broth or bone broth or anything like that to make it more like nutritious. We don't have any of that on hand that is like good for dogs wise, but I just use water. We actually did this yesterday for the first time and tried it out, and it took her like 45 minutes to eat all of this. Sit, which is amazing.
Here's your din-dins. Break. Literally, we have made dinner. I have FaceTimed my mom. We're about to eat, and she is still working on her dinner. I love this thing. But since she's already in here, we're just gonna kind of close her off so that whenever she's done, she doesn't try to come and steal our food. You just hang out in there, and we're gonna watch BoJack. Oh my goodness. I know. But it is now about 9:30, so I'm getting into bed. Griffin's gonna hop on Xbox, PlayStation, I don't know, some sort of video game with his friends. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's pup date video. It's been a while since I've actually like closed these because these days are always so long and I always forget to close them. But essentially the end of our routine here is that Freya usually lays in bed with me until maybe like midnight or so. Whenever Griffin's ready to come to bed, he will take her potty and then she goes to bed in her crate. So she gets to like lay down in the bed with us, but she doesn't sleep all night with us. She always ends up in her crate. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe down below so that way you don't miss out on future pup date videos. Thank you guys so much for everyone who asked questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. I always get so many for these pup dates that I can only get to a handful of them. But every time I do these videos, I always ask you guys on my Instagram stories to ask me questions for the Q&A portion of all of this. So if you have questions to ask, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you guys can be a part of the next video. I love you guys so much, more than you'll ever know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Guys, say goodnight.
See you. Bye.